Hi everyone, welcome. It's Lavender Sky Panther with you on Sunday, September 8th, 2024 for a fun little card reading tonight. And we do have 3 groups available to choose from. Feel free to pick 1, 2, or all 3, however you like. I will move the camera in on each little group here, represented by a different candle. Each of the candles has a very different scent blend, and I will hopefully mention it in your reading. And if not, if I forget, I will put it in the description area below. All right, well, let's just jump right in. I hope, first off, that this reading finds you well and, or at least in a good place. And if not, hopefully you'll be in a better place by the time we're done with this reading, right? All right, so I'm going to move in. So group 1, there's a beautiful candle, and each has a very different flame. So you have a little chunk of raw yellow jasper, and this is just supposed to be representing a sprig of fresh lavender, but it happens to be from an artificial plant. But there you have it. That's the idea. So the yellow jasper and the lavender. And group 2, you've got a nice bright flame going on. And you have a chunk of raw Chrysocolla and a representation of like a Spanish gold doubloon. But I love this because it is, of course, just a representation made out of plastic. And it even says made in China on there. I don't know, just find the irony in that just beautiful. And then we have the 3rd candle, and we have a couple of chunks of black tourmaline, and we have a little guardian bell with a Bigfoot on it. Okay, so those are the 3 groups, and go ahead and make your selection. What I've done with this group, this particular reading, is I did go ahead and select the cards that you see on this little tray, representing kind of the overall energy of your particular group. And then based on it, I did look to see what they were, and some hints of what they're going to be are represented in those tokens. I don't normally do that, but I decided to do it that way this time. And then below, we have the companion cards, to each of your groups, and those are going to give a little clarification to what we have up here. All right, so let's get started with group 1. Group 1, you have this nice yellow jasper and representation of lavender. And let me move that away. And just so you know, your candle happens to be lavender and chamomile. Okay, so your card, give me a second to set it up. Or actually, I'm going to pull it toward the camera this time. Your card, your overall energy card, I know it's a little dim, but that's kind of the mood of this whole reading. The candlelight looks like you've got some ginkgo there, and it says healing. So when you just hear the word healing, and you see this ginkgo is represented by blue on this card, and in the background it looks like that could be a moon, or it could even be one of those balloons they make these days that has confetti on the inside. So take that as you wish. But for now, just kind of call it like a representation of the moon. A lot of interesting types of healings can be happening in the moonlight. The moon is very powerful and also healing for plants in a way, because especially when there's a full moon, it draws the water up, into the plant through the stems. Stems kind of drink it up like a straw, the way the moon pulls it up or draws it up. But anyway, healing. So let me just kind of feel into this card. We could go any number of ways with healing. One thing I will just bring up right off the bat, because it just hit me when I was in the kitchen not long ago. I was looking through all of my teas, my collection of tea and herbal teas, and one jumped out to me, and this might be a little message for you. The one that jumped out of all of them was the turmeric and holy basil. Okay, so might be something in there, or something you want to research further on that type of plant medicine, herbs, or just find a tea. The turmeric is good for inflammation, to help ease that or settle that down. And the holy basil has a lot of excellent healing properties, but I'm going to defer to you to research that further. I did try an essential oil, not an essential oil, but a tincture made with holy basil, that a master herbalist had prepared out of Australia. And I took a little under the tongue, a couple drops under the tongue each day. And I have to say, I did feel good. It did feel good in the system. But anyway, this might be a call to look into different healing tinctures, or, different essential oils, different ways of using some of these nice herbs to heal, especially as aromatherapy, such as with these candles. If you get a nice organic one, soy-based candle, nothing kind of perfumey, but based with essential oils, that can do wonders for healing. Like in this case, it's the Lavender Chamomile. And actually, like I said at the beginning too, maybe also working with teas, toward the healing. So as I hold this card, one of the messages that wants to come through is for your group is a question for you, how long do you think you've been healing or know that you've been healing over a certain situation? Has it been, from when you were a child? Is it something recent, with relationship? Or has it been decades, Any way you look at it, when you look at it, if we really think about it, we could be healing for our entire lives, some aspect of ourselves. In fact, when you do a lot of healing and you think you're over something and you're like, woohoo, you want to celebrate, oftentimes you'll find later something comes up again, bubbles up, and your thoughts go back to some time, or even in dreams you go back. And you're like, what the heck, man? I thought I did all the inner work. I did the work on myself to heal it and let it go, maybe even with therapy or whatever else, working with other people on it. What the heck, why is it back? And it just, it's a continual process. And not to scare anybody about that, but, it is what it is. But then if it bubbles up again, you're a different person each time when that happens. And you should be able to look at it differently and see it with new eyes and feel it differently. And so these little things, these little circles up there, at first I was thinking, okay, that's kind of like little representing craters of the moon. But now that I talk about this with healing, it's kind of like, yeah, things are going to keep bubbling up. And that's okay. It's how the perspective and what eyes, if you can look at things through eyes of love and forgiveness for yourself and others, as you move along with the whole process of healing is what counts. And don't judge yourself, whether you feel like you should have healed already by now, or if it's going too slow, or if maybe you zip through it too fast. There's no rules on this thing. We're just here in life to experience what we experience. So just live each life, with self-care, self-love, first and foremost. And when you take care of yourself, everything else in your life, in your outer vision, will start to look improved. The more you give yourself some tender, loving care, right? Okay, well, let's just see what else now that the other cards that I had pulled for as little support or clarifier cards, if needed, it came out. So first I'm going to read straight up. I was drawn to pull up for your little support or clarifier deck. Card is coming from, give me a second to read what it is. It's called Earth Angels Message Cards. Okay, so on the one face of it we have this gorgeous deer with a crescent moon, beautiful flowers, a little hare, a rabbit leaping across in the back, and your card is Curiosity. And it does look like tulips. I'm not sure if that's the flower they're going for, and maybe some cherry blossoms. Not sure. Or some other kind of perennial plant. No idea. But anyway, let's read on the back then what curiosity is and see how we can tie this in together with your healing card. Curiosity brings answers to your never-ending questions, and the knowledge will bring delight into your life. The mysterious and mystical will lead you into the new and ancient past, and once your attention is on a certain way of being, it will unfold into a kaleidoscope of ideas and inspiration. The affirmation says, I sense the wonder in all things. Okay, so that might be a little clue if you are feeling like, you need to do more healing. And as they say, I know it's cliche, but it actually is true. When they say you got to feel it to heal it, that you can't just like gloss over it and pretend you don't have emotions. You got to feel them, not stay mired or, anchored down in the pain and misery or whatever, but feel it just enough, to acknowledge it and then try to move through it. And so this card is maybe giving a little clue on how to assist with that. It's saying, to stay in that, I'll just throw it in there like childlike wonder with everything that you're looking at, and be open to, some creativity. Hold on, let me just read this again off camera for a minute. Be open to being curious, explore and try new things. Maybe I'll just throw this out there. It may or may not apply to you, may give you an idea if you're stuck with some on this. But healing, let's just say it is to do with relationship, and you find yourself quote unquote alone. I just say that in quotes because you'll hear another cliche, you're never truly alone. Something occurred to me, yeah, because you've got a spirit team, you've got God, you've got a force that moves through you that can never be separate from you. That's why you're not alone as well. And so, and the thing, actually, because I also personally, it's kind of a pet peeve to hear that, you know, oh, you're never alone. And, you know, a lot of times, yes, you're going to feel very alone, depending on especially what's happened, if you've had a breakup or something, or a death recently that you're encountering in your life with a loved one and you're feeling alone or very lonely. I just thought of something, though, a different aspect occurred to me, that another reason why that statement of you're never truly alone is true is your consciousness and your spirit and your soul is housed within your beautiful earth body or vessel, however you want to look at it. And so if you think about it, your glorious body that is there for you unfailingly, day in and day out, your physical body carries you around. It does everything without asking you for anything other than, you know, to treat it right, fuel it up right with the right food and drink, if you will. But it carries us, it generates the cells on its own, it knows what to do with beating the heart and taking care of, you know, the vascular system, your circulatory system. It just does everything, and it grows skin cells and hair cells, and you know, and okay, sorry if you don't have hair or hair loss, you know what I'm getting at. It just does everything to do with everything within its own power without asking us for a thing, to make sure everything's maintained and running smoothly. It, you know, our physical legs help carry us around, or this or that. So in that sense, yeah, we're never truly alone because we have our body that, you know, does not separate from ourselves usually, unless you're astral traveling or dream walking in dream time. So anyway, that's just a fun little, maybe at least fun for me, notion that came up, where even if you're having a hard time believing, if you're having a hard time in trusting God or believing, and just say that, you know, some of your biggest hopes and dreams just came crashing through, and you just can't even believe, you know, how would God let me down like that, if, you know, that's where you're at. You know, of course, I think we all go through moments like that. And again, don't judge it how long or slow it takes to get out of that, you know, particular feeling, because ultimately, you know, in hindsight, when we can look back at some of these quote unquote tower moments, and the tarot cards say, you know, tower moment when everything breaks, you know, when we look back, we'll see it really was for us and not against us, you know, whatever happened. And it was just to guide us, and maybe the issue was going to happen inevitably anyway. And so it really is just a matter of how we choose to look at something. And then that will influence how well or how long it may take to move through our healing, and what kind of experience that's going to look like for us in our lives. Okay, so anyway, that's might be a little convoluted, but that's what was coming up for me right now. And then we have one more card. So yeah, through the healing process, you can get creative. Actually, the word is curiosity, but I was thinking creativity. I'll just say it, but yeah, with healing, we can get creative and look into some of the healing powers of the plants. Really feel into your body and feel into what kind of nourishment with plants you might need, and then just do some research and maybe look up all the different healing properties of different plants that will help you. Like, say you feel like, oh, I don't know, but I just kind of feel like my stomach doesn't feel good, or my you know, organs like liver or kidneys. Well, look up, you know, maybe some healing teas and get some and try them. Okay. All right, curiosity, we talked about that. And now let's just see what other, if we have any more clarification on this card. And we have a nice little setting. Actually, yeah, candlesticks. Echoes the candles that we have on my little setup. So yeah, you might want to look into aromatherapy for healing as well. I've mentioned on other shows, I really love, depending what mindset you're in with the healing, where you're physically, how you're physically feeling and what you're into. I personally just love if you can find a really great combination of lavender and orange. I find that very soothing and also invigorating at the same time. And citrus is supposed to be, you know, the orange scent is supposed to be like kind of a happy factor at the same time, healing and happy. You might want to look into that or something else. All right, so we've got the candle echoed. We've got roses, beautiful present there, and looks like a jewelry box or something. So this says gift in many different languages. So Geschenk is what it is in German. dono, dar, a lot of other things. Okay, so what I'm getting here is not only to gift yourself, treat yourself right, and that can, help you toward healing, right? Don't hold back. Like if you have something that you've wanted or just want to even buy yourself some flowers, do it. Also, I'm getting, though, also looking at this is to maybe give a gift to somebody else as a part of your healing process. And in this case, just go with your intuition. So I'll give you a personal example. One time I was leaving the house, and I'm talking about like on a micro scale level, really connect in with yourself and your intuition. So to the point where in your daily life, you're really, really looking at the signs, feeling it, feeling into the signs too, and really listening to yourself, even if something in your head doesn't make sense about it. So an example, one day I was rushing out of the house and something told me strongly, take that beach rock with you. I had a little bowl of beach rocks, and I was guided, like almost in my mind's eye, I could see it, that I was supposed to pick up a specific one. And it was it wasn't really huge, but it also wasn't tiny. It was a good size, I guess like the size of a potato. And like a small sized potato. So I thought, okay, I'll take it, but I don't know. It's just kind of strange. And then it turned out that I ran into somebody, and something said, give the rock to this person, this guy. And I thought, well, okay, I'll do it. Just didn't quite make sense. So I went to the guy and I just said, it was somebody who I knew. And I just said, you know what, I have no idea why, but I don't question these things anymore when my intuition says to do something. And I'm supposed to give you this rock. And, there's nothing too special about it, but it's this beach rock from the beach. And the guy looked at me and kind of laughed and goes, oh yeah, nothing so special about it, because of course with the giving, there was a nice energy coming with it. But he said, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I need. I'm going to go visit my mother who's really, really sick, and this will make her happy. So anyway, you just never know. But you do know when you key into your intuition on things. So I'm just getting a sense that gifting somebody something, even if it's just a rock that you find in the ground, that type of a thing, go with your intuition on it, and go in with the intuition too on who you're supposed to give it to. And even if you don't know, just be open, and but have the little something or whatever ready, possibly to give to somebody. And who knows, for whatever reason, that seems to be a little piece in here that might help toward healing, whatever that means to you, whether I touched on it or not in this reading. Okay, so that's going to be it for group number 1, and I wish you a beautiful evening or day wherever you are. And now we'll move on to group 2. Hi, group 2. Let's get into your reading. And so we've got the overall cards here for the overall energy. And actually, yeah, like I said, I put the little tokens as a little hint of what the cards are going to mean. So if you were looking for this, you're going to know if this was for you. Give me 1 second to clear this away. Okay, I'm going to focus up here, pardon the camera work, while I get this set. All right, let's come back down. So we're going to look at your cards, your overall energy cards, and then we're going to have the support little clarifier cards below. So right off the bat here, the reason why I put those in there, actually I didn't even plan this. I picked the crystal before I knew what the card was going to be. After I picked the cards, then I put the extra little token to give a clue of what was coming. But I like this because we got the blue and gold theme, in here, echoing in the little tokens. So right away, you've got money. And I guess, I don't know why the words, it's never come up with this card for me before, but it's kind of got, the words come up lending tree, because we've got the tree there. But I don't mean in a tree that, you go to this, and I'm not trying to promote any, if it's a company or corporation at all. But it's kind of like, instead of a place that's going to lend you the money, I'm getting it more like this tree is lending itself to give you, never-ending abundance. I mean, it looks like a lemon tree, so that tree, as long as it has life in it, is just going to keep giving and giving. It's going to be giving the leaves, it's going to be giving the fruits, and it's going to be giving its healing properties, it's going to be giving oxygen, it's going to be giving so much. It's just kind of here to help us and to give. And so and it's also reminding me, I can't stand the phrase money doesn't grow on trees, but I'm just laughing because I'm like, well, money is the trees, because they turn into paper, which is like the paper currency, right? Anyway, but anyway, you've got money. And another card came out at the same time, flew out at the same time, with golden ticket and opportunity. So you got the nice stars, everything is rainbows and puffy white clouds, and you've got an actual, tangible golden ticket opportunity for something. Okay, for some that could be a literally you have a ticket to go to some concert or performance or theater. But it also could be metaphorical that, there is a ticket with your name on it somewhere, and you're going to get that golden opportunity coming up. And it might be something that you wished on your lucky stars for, or it might be something that's a complete surprise, like what is, at the end of that rainbow or at the beginning of that rainbow, right? For that matter. But either way, obviously, everything is like coming up roses, rainbows, and money for you in this deck, very strongly because of these two cards, flying up together. So let's look at, let me just think for a minute, feel into it, if there's anything else that wants to come up with this before we get to your clarifier cards. Give me a moment. Yeah, I guess one question, I'm going to start with a question. I guess, say you already have or had all the money in the world that you could possibly even wish for or dream of. Would that change your outlook for wishing for any certain opportunities to happen? Or would you already then have enough to make whatever you wanted, to come into your reality? Would you be able to make that happen? So let's just say, yeah, if you had the money, would that still solve what you're wishing for? Would that give you something that you wouldn't even now need, this like golden opportunity to come your way? Or is what you are looking at as a golden opportunity something that is independent of money, that something that money cannot buy? So that's just something for contemplation. There are things, plenty of things that money cannot buy that are extraordinary opportunities, right? All right, now let's see if there's any clarification that wants to come through. Oops, just disturbed the other pile. Give me a minute. So for your clarification cards, I went to the Dragon Oracle cards by Diana Cooper. And what flew out for you is this majestic dragon. We already see the third eye is sparkling away, and we've got a golden feather in the dragon's hand. So this is the alpha dragon. Harnesses the divine masculine power of creation. It says, destroy the old, visualize your dream, help to manifest a new world. Okay, so this is obviously a very powerful dragon. I think they put it in as like a 9th dimensional dragon. I don't know too much about the dragon world. The only thing I know is that there's some very positive, creator type dragons, cosmic dragons, very peaceful and loving dragons, and of course there's the absolute opposite. So this is meant to be the more, higher, I'm missing the word, give me a minute, higher dimensional dragon, so more coming from a loving place, not a negative low energy. What comes to what pulls my attention right away, even more so than the kind of the third eye sparkle there at the forehead, is this golden, it's a feather, but I want to say like it's a golden arrow. You know how there are feathers on an arrow? And those feathers very much are, play a huge part on the arrow to help guide it and send it to, its target straight and true. In this case, it's kind of like, it's looking like the quill, that the dragon is creating things maybe through mentally and also through like written word. But in this case too, yeah, it's just kind of reminding me of the golden arrow kind of imagery, and how it's a golden opportunity right in the hands, and the power of creation. There's like nothing this dragon needs. This dragon doesn't need, look at this, a freaking cosmic, beautiful cosmic dragon. Has no need for golden coins or money. Look, even what would normally be a sun is blacked out. It doesn't need that. But its focus is completely on the creation of what it can do with its own hands and its own mind. And so I think that's just another thing, kind of a reminder, the power of visualizing and to help bring it about. Now it does say destroy the old in there too. That may be an important message from somebody. I think it's kind of a powerful way to say something like destroy the old. It could also just, well, I've heard other phrases like death of the old too. And I guess another way to reframe that, I personally would like to see it reframed in a more positive aspect. It's just maybe a letting go of the old, right? Let it kind of just slip away and take its natural course. But they're saying that this is very much about the alpha and the divine masculine power. Well, there are many ways to let something go and do it by taking action. And actually, an inaction can also be viewed as an action if you just kind of like let things slip out of sight, out of mind type of thing, right? Or you can actively, throw something away, move it out of your frame, out of your reality. But anyway, see what that might mean to you. But regardless, it is very important to visualize things. I know some people do vision boards and things. I've never done that. Maybe it works well for you to bring some things in. For me, I just, keep it in the mind. Other people journal it. The feather, again, can represent the quill of writing things down. That may help you bring it into. I've tried that. Doesn't really seem to work. Other people might do mantras, say mantras, or sing things, trying to, bring it in through sound into existence. That's possible. Some people want to dance and just kind of let go of everything and try to dance things and release and just have fun. And sometimes whatever you're trying to manifest will come right through, right? So anyway, I don't know why I'm bringing that up, but it just looks like no matter what your overall cards are saying, like you've already got it. The money and opportunity, the golden ticket, it's there. Like even the rainbow's already complete. It's not like you're waiting for it. It's like you already have it. And I want to say there's a new phrase they say these days when they say somebody is money. It's just like, man, you've got it all. You're like, there's a better way probably to define it. But it like means like, man, you're sweet. You've got it all. You got the look. You got the money. You got like you look like you're made of money, right? And so something about this is saying, whether you realize it or not, you're already money, and because you are what you might be wishing for, you're already there. The opportunity will come, or you won't even need it, actually at that point. And if it does come in, it's because you've been looking to expand yourself and use your powers of creation. Okay. Yeah, that's about it. All right, so let me see what your clarifying card down here is too. And relative to money and opportunity, golden ticket, and power of creation, you've got this house, and it's on a hill, and it's got a lot of stairs, and it's got this bridge over water. There's even a boat. So I guess this is just, the phrasing under here is just house. So house, casa, maso, I guess it is. Lots of other languages describing house. So power of creation and golden opportunity. Look at the house, even has like a golden color to it, right? Is this the opportunity that you're, looking for? Or are you maybe waiting for a certain house that you have your eye on to open up? Or you've always dreamed of living in a house like this, Again, it gets into visualizing stuff, perhaps. Would all of the money in the world buy you this house? Say you want just this specific house. Well, what if somebody's already living there and they don't want to sell? So that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes you can have all the money in the world, but that doesn't mean, you can have it necessarily. Sure, you could like take that money and then try to build the same thing, but maybe there's something very specific about the way this house sits on a very specific coordinate on the whole planet. And that is like the vortex of energy where you just feel it, that, oh no, that's my property. I just feel this earth is mine. But, maybe not right now. Could be an issue of timing. Or, sometimes what we think we want, it turns out, no, we actually really didn't want it. So it's about maybe, letting this opportunity come in on its own. Maybe, really feel into it for yourself. Is it something you got to really work at hard and destroy the old and, use your power of creation to make it happen? Or is it a matter of, hey, you're going to get it, just you're already money, you already got it, but let it come in at the divine and right timing. You don't want it to be ill-gotten, because then, no good comes of that, right? So this might be also just a little friendly reminder to feel into stuff, and just because you might have all the money and all of that, some opportunities do also need to come in with divine timing and not all efforting, okay? All right, that's all I'm getting for group 2. Oh, I didn't think I told you your candle scent is Cassia Noir. So it has kind of a cinnamon, and actually goes very well with this, pairs well with this kind of more masculine, divine masculine oriented card. Because if you're going to call it a feminine or masculine, unlike group 1 had more feminine scent, this is more masculine. Okay, Now, thanks, Group 2. Best wishes. We're going to move on to Group 3. All right, Group 3. Let's see what we have for you. And actually give me a moment to move Group 2 off to the side a little so we have a little more room here. Okay, so Group 3, that's how your flame is burning. And these are your tokens. Okay, so we do have black tourmaline, which is great for protection, and that's why I pulled it out, because I did peek at your overall energy card to put the tokens out this time. Normally I don't do that, but I was guided to. And here you have that guardian bell, has a little ring to it, and you have the Sasquatch, and you have the actual foot for Bigfoot. Okay, so give me a moment. I'm going to clear that off, and we can get to your cards. Flip it over. Okay, so you have a beautiful card here, and it is protection. Okay, now I'm going to ask you a question, because for whatever reason, I think I opened up on all the decks this way. I know I did on the last one. Before I get into this, all of the groups want to ask a question first, instead of me just going in and tapping into it. So we have protection, and we have what looks like a statue, although it looks like a living statue. It looks like that's a very much an alive, that this angel is alive. At least to me, that's what it looks like. It looks like she's in motion, and that she's very vibrant, and is looking down, has her arms outstretched a bit, like she is going to come in and offer some protection for somebody. She also looks like she has this powerful orb tracking with her, is how I read it. Seems to be very magical, with like little stars and sparkles and whatever, you know. And it's in this case for me, it's just kind of like the orb is symbolic as a greater force, that is, that which protects her is extending through her and coming toward you to also protect you. But so the question is, though, what does this mean to you when you see protection? Because there are many aspects of protection, and we will go to your clarifying cards to clarify cards to see what wants to come through for that. But before we even do that, what does protection mean to you? Now, of course, that can go in any number of directions, and so think on that for a moment. I know where it's going to go in the next couple of clarifier cards, I think, but again, this is your reading, so you may even want to do some of the interpretation on it of what protection means to you. And I guess the question is, if protection is kind of a little overall energy, does it mean that you feel like you need protection? And in what area do you feel vulnerable where you would need protection? Or do you feel like you are the one that will bring protection to yourself or somebody else, right? All right, so let's see what the other cards want to bring up. So as part of your clarifying cards down here, I went to, knowing that the overall energy card was protection, I thought, which deck should we pull up for you for the clarifying cards? And it's going to be the Angel Tarot cards by Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine. It's an older deck, but I thought of the symbolism there of the angels. So the clarifier card that you have is 9 of Fire, which is kind of funny because we've got the fire blazing back there. And 9 of Fire, and she is here. Okay, let's pan down, and that's a dragon wing. Like, these dragon wings are protecting her, but it almost looks like they're just kind of like a decoration in the background, because look at her, she does not look like she needs any protection. She's like, don't even think about it, don't mess with me. So she's got these kind of wands, these staff, kind of crystal, glowing, magical staves or wands, right? Or the dragon's holding one above her, and she's got one as well. Let's see what it says. Don't give up. Protect that which you've created. Have courage and believe in yourself. Okay? So here it's saying, the clarifying thing on your deck and your group is, that exactly that. Don't give up. Protect that which you've created. Have courage and believe in yourself. So it's saying, don't give up easy. You've worked too hard. You've, come through too much to stand in your power, and you've done too much to create what you've created. Don't just like give away the ranch here. Fight for it. As far as like standing in your truth, fighting. You don't need to physically fight, but just stand in your own power, believe in yourself mighty, right? So that's another aspect of it. Maybe it's not protecting somebody else, but protect that which you have created, that you've worked for. Don't back down. Believe in yourself and do what it takes to see something through, right? And have that fire burning in your soul, in your very soul, like you're not going to give up or let go of the notion of, protecting something. There's no need. Stay strong and true to you, right? And let's see what your other clarifier card is, and we'll see if there are any other messages that want to kind of come through at all. Just a very, good, there's strong power, there's gentle power, and in that card, it looks like she had both. You can be fierce and also be gentle about it with your power, and have the wisdom to know when to use each one. Okay, another clarifier card for this group. Looks like we have a bit of a cemetery thing going on in the background, and we have this dog, and the word here is fidelity. And Treue is in German, and we've got some other languages as well, if that means anything to you. So what I first see, though, is the German word Treue for fidelity, kind of like loyalty. What I see and hear is be true to you. So to thine own self, be true. This dog is kind of alone. Maybe somebody has passed in your life recently, or friends that you used to count on, people in your circle aren't there anymore, kind of getting that energy to it. And that, brings up even more, that it's okay, it's up to you to keep in your power. Don't give your power away, stand in that power so that you can create, not that, just protecting that which you've created, but also what you're about to create, right? Create ahead. So to thine own self be true to you. And don't despair. This card has a little bit of a melancholy energy to it. But what do we want to say with that? But in the background, we've got symbols of the cross. And even in there, if you look at the particular one up in the upper left here, at the center of, or the crossing of the cross, is a circle. And you know how dogs kind of walk around in a circle several times before they just kind of lay down. It's kind of like they're making an imaginary nest or something of comfort. It's just reminding me the circle of this is very important. So that dog in particular is keeping all the power within and of itself, creating a circle by its very body. And we've got the center, the cross is that circle. The heart of the divine is within us. We have that divine spark within us. Exactly there, that the two different directions of the cross, where they intersect, it is said that that's the point of the crossing can also be at the point of like what it takes to make a portal, and that's ever expansive. So again, it's just kind of reminding me that everything is within us, and that ever expansiveness and that ever expansive power of creation. And we can protect ourselves, we can protect others, we can protect our creations. But at the end of the day, we can also let it all go and just trust, put our faith, that cross in the divine, in God, in Jesus, Buddha, Allah, whatever you believe in, that's the higher power, your higher self, all of it, your angel, your guardian angelics, everything. They're always there, they're always there on the scene, regardless of what we are going through internally, externally, whatever. Okay? So I would just say consider yourself protected, consider yourself fierce enough and gentle enough where needed to offer protection to others in ways that they need it. All right, well, that is all I'm getting for now. So whatever's going on, best wishes to you all in group 3 as well. And now I'm going to come back out and just say thank you to everyone, especially if you've been tracking with anything on my channel. Extra appreciation to you, or if you're new showing up, whether you're checking in for some of these card readings, or the nature items, or the sky show stuff. I appreciate you, and just truly wish you all the best for right here, right now. Tremendous peace and love to you. Lavender Sky Panther. Bye.